Welcome to the Mediocre to Magnificent podcast. I'm your co-host, Braxton Matson, and your host, Lee A. Williams, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in because you are what makes this pure magnificence. You are the ripple effect of magnificence, and we are going to bring you a message that will give you insight, inspire you, motivate you, and challenge you to not only grow in your magnificence, but let you know that you are magnificent in everything you do. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Man, we're here.
We are.
It's raining like cats and dogs outside right now.
Porn.
But you ain't got an Is It Me or I don't have one. I don't have an info sponge. I thought I had one, but I do have one. Well, it's not really an info sponge, but it's kind of, like Gavin got an ant farm. He got one of those little ant farms. And see, we've gone through this before.
In the house?
Yeah, it's in the house. And I didn't know you had to order the ants.
Oh, really?
You have to order the ants. They come in these little
You
vials.
can't just go outside and put some candy in
Well, we tried that.
we
tried that the first time. It didn't work out.
Oh, really?
Really? They're different. They're different ants. Their heads are huge compared to what outside you would see.
Yeah.
But he's got these ants, and it's so crazy how they work. I never really seen how they just move stuff around, and then eating wise.
So you can see it.
You can see it.
How
it's like a glass. It's almost it's not glass, but you can see it
on both sides.
On both sides, how they tunnel and they dig.
So how many ants did you order?
It's a lot. It's over 50. I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they came in this vial, this little test tube thing, and Gavin gets it. The package says, "Open immediately."
Yeah, I would hope so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not home. I'm at work while they're doing this, and I drive up in the driveway, and Gavin looks like he's working on something. And I see this Tupperware thing out in the front yard.
Yeah.
And I see him with a stick.
But they're not the kind that bite.
No, they do bite. They got pinchers on them.
Oh, so
y'all
we fire ants?
No, they're not fire ants, but they do have pinchers on them. But we haven't decided to see if they do bite you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to figure it out.
Because they look kind of big. I was like, I don't want to get bit by that.
Right.
But he's sitting there with a stick, putting these ants in the ant farm.
Yeah.
And I walk up, and he's I wouldn't say stressed, but he's frustrated.
Yeah, it ain't working.
It's not working. He's got a bunch of ants in this Tupperware thing. He's trying to get in the thing. I'm like, did it come with instructions on how to get them in there?
What he said?
Because I've never done it before.
Yeah.
He didn't really give me an answer on that one. But he was just wanting me to help. Can you please help me up? I was like, yeah, I'll help you out with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you end up doing?
Well. When I saw that Tupperware box and how he was putting those ants in there, I'm like, I don't think you put them in the right way.
Yeah. Out of 50, did 50 make it? You say with a stick and you're...
Right. No, they did. Yeah, there may have been a couple casualties here and there, or some that escaped. Maybe.
Some that escaped.
But he did it because it was kind of at the time where we were having to go to church and stuff. And I'm like, Gavin, they're still going to be there. Put the lid on Tupperware and you'll get them in there. And he got them in there.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool how they work, man.
So how do you feed them?
Yeah, you feed them we went and got sunflower seeds. They'll eat sunflower seeds. They tell them apples, stuff like that.
Wow.
They'll do it. But what's so funny is when there's something in the way, and Gavin was telling me this, when they got something in the way, they all congregate to this thing and they move it.
Yeah.
Like it's a team effort, like inside this ant farm.
And they send they send a signal.
It's so cool, yeah. You'll see signals, and they'll come. Like if he's like got tweezers to like, if an apple or something, he's trying to pull it out because it's old or something like that, and they'll recognize it and they'll go to the tweezer. Like it'll swarm to the.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. Watching them work and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I didn't really have any interest in it, but now I was like, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
how
good.
They work. But yeah, that was a little tangent. But today, little tangent.
Like today,
we are going through goals and systems, and a lot of like people kind of, I guess, would get where I'm getting at with this. If you were to pick one, which one, if you wanted to do a goal or if you wanted to do a system, which one would you typically pick out of those two?
To implement a system or to achieve a goal?
Yeah.
My mind immediately goes to I want to implement the system because that's going to help you achieve the goal.
Right. And it's kind of a no-brainer in my mind. It's a no-brainer. But it's interesting because the way I looked at it was like you got to have goals. Like goals is something out in the future that you want to achieve. It's like the destination,
right?
In a way. And it's like, well, how do you get to the destination? You can set certain things you can do. You know, like, for example, the 12-week challenge I got going on.
Yeah.
Like, we weighed in last week. So I've got the baseline. I've got the baseline.
That's good.
And my goal, like, I was sitting there, like, I was telling one of the guys that work that's in my group, like, I want to try to hit 30. Like, that's my, like, I don't know why, but 30 is just stuck in my head. Like, I want to get 30. Hit 30. And I was looking at, like, 12 weeks, and I was like, I mean, it's doable. It's doable. But how do I get there?
How do I get there? What system have you put in place?
And the thing about the system is it's like, when you make resolutions and you want to follow through with them, but you don't.
Yeah.
Your system's out of place. Like you don't have the right system. You haven't checked the system.
You might not have one at all.
You may not have any system.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I want to get at today. It was like, how do you have this goal and then implement the system that needs to be in place to achieve that goal or to strive for that goal? Because I look at it as the goal is your destination. The system is the vehicle that's going to get you to the destination.
Yeah. And I've always heard, man, system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money.
Yeah.
So especially when you say vehicle, and it's like, okay, the system.
Yeah.
I need a vehicle that's going to save myself time, energy, and money.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
So like for me, like with the challenge that I got going on, the first part of the whole thing was just figuring out the system that would work, that I can do.
Yeah.
So it was more about how is the meal planning, the meal prepping. The exercise I know is going to come.
Yeah.
But the first thing, like I've got to check my eating. I got to check that. I got to put that in place and certain restrictions. So I don't know if I brought this on a podcast, but you remember.
Yeah, you did.
I put the lock on the pantry door.
You did.
And I sitting there like, this is for the kids. I'm like,
no, this
might be for me.
This might be. The kids are the excuse.
Right.
I need this.
And that's like putting a system in place. Like you said, that makes it easier to get to the point.
Yeah.
And like the goal gives you the direction and the system gets you where it's the making the progress. That's the system.
So that's so interesting. So like because I know I said, okay, gotta have the system in place. But then the way you just verbalized it, not saying like you changed what you verbalized, but you do begin with the goal.
Yeah.
And then you create the system that helps you attain the goal.
It's almost,
because you wouldn't necessarily create the system and then be like, well,
what's the system for?
Where are we going?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Like, what is the system for? Because I feel like you need to set the goal, but it feels to me like you set the goal and then you forget about the goal. Yeah. And you focus on the system.
Can you have a system in setting the goal?
Wait, say that again?
Look, could you have a system in setting the goal?
Yeah. I think, man, you can put systems on everything. I really do think you could do that. Like a system.
Because, like, say how we did the save yourself time, energy, and money. If we did goal that way, it's a give oneself actionable. I don't know what the L would be. Yeah. Like actionable leads. I don't know. Right. Actionable lists. I don't know.
Yeah, you could do it that way. Yeah. I mean, there's a system in setting a goal you could come up with. Yeah. You know, you get the SMART, like the whole SMART acronym.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. Yeah. You can set up a system to have that, which gets the goal more specific, because I feel like a lot of the goals we do, it's not specific.
Yeah. Just sounds good.
It sounds good. It's like, oh yeah, I feel good. And it's like, the system isn't going to make you feel good. It's going to make you do progress.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to sign up for this challenge. Like, are you just signing up just to sign up?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Or are you actually going to do something?
Yeah, and it's like, another one was, you know, goals tend to have us focus on the future, but systems keep you in the present. That's another aspect to the system. Yeah. It's keeping you focused on the now. We get so focused on achieving the goal. If we mess up on one little thing, it like, you just want to call it, like we had talked about it before. Yeah, like you had the ice cream, or you had the.
Oh yeah.
It's over. Like, I'm just gonna run with it. I'm just gonna run.
It's over, man. We'll start next year.
But that's like putting a system in place. It's like, that's fine. You know, if you had the system in place the right way, I mean, you would reward yourself in a system. You wouldn't treat it like it's bad. Yeah. Or if you had a system that would,
especially like some people call them cheat days. Like, no, you need to call it treat.
It's treat days,
because the annotation of it, cheating, it makes you feel like it's a negative. And it puts out negative. It's like, nah, I've been doing good, been being diligent, been being disciplined. I treat myself to you fill in the blank, whatever your thing is. Or in your case, let you unlock the pantry for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, but that's setting a system in place. Yeah. Like, I don't want to set it. It's like, I feel like a goal restricts you, but the system allows you to adjust. Mm. So it's like,
go that a little bit. Expound on that for that listeners, man.
Like James, I think this was James Clear. I think he said this in his book. It was, if you focus solely on the system and not the goal, you still reach the goal. So I feel like the goal, it being so specific, it doesn't allow you the flexibility to branch off from what it could be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like my goal would be losing 30 pounds. Yeah. It's specific. Yeah. Can I make it measurable? Can I make it time sensitive? Yeah. Yeah. Is it attainable? Yeah. Yeah. But it's like that's the restrictive part. Yeah. The system gives you the flexibility on how to do it. I guess. So you're focusing on the system more, not the goal. Mm-hmm. And whatever, life throws at you, or whatever you got going on, you can adjust the system to allow you to reach that goal, but you're focusing on the system, not the goal. Because if you keep focusing on the goal, it's going to be like tunnel vision, and you're not going to see, oh, I could do this,
right,
or I could do that. Like, say for example, I'm working XYZ hours.
Yeah.
What's not to say you can't get some type of exercise in it where you can't go walk around the building or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I'm gonna miss gym. You don't need gym.
You don't need a gym.
You could do something else.
You
I've there's been people at work, they'll do push-ups at work.
Yeah. Just drop down and
Just knock 20, 50 out. Just knock them out.
That's your gym. That's why we got the shirt. Get your movement. Like, nothing stops you from getting and say, let's do some squats right here.
Right.
Bust out a few jumping jacks, man.
Right.
Do some lunges.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be like, man, I'm the gym. What do you think? What do you think that is?
I think it's just people restricting their like the word that comes to mind is narrow-minded.
Yeah. They need outside stimulation.
Right.
Instead of internal.
Mm-hmm. It's for me, it's like you can't do it on your own in a way.
Yeah.
And if you have external sources that help you in those areas.
Yeah.
And we this isn't even just like us trying to lose 30 pounds. This could be your marriage. This could be your faith. This could be work-related stuff, stress. If you had outside sources that give you different inputs,
the
outputs will change. So if you're constantly, and that's how like James Clear had in his book, if you change the inputs, the outputs change themselves.
Right.
That's kind of how.
I mean, do you think it's programming? Because like me and you've been to the gym together. So what I mean by that is, like, what we went to the gym for. Like, and when you truly tap into really like get your movement, it's not the gym. Like, it's not the equipment. It's not the treadmill. It's not taking away from that stuff. Not taking away if that's where people are at in their journey. But in a true process, the stuff that we did was like we could have met in the backyard. So what I mean by programming is that the gym marketing to like, oh, come join the club, come look at this. But if I say, hey man, you want to shed this 30 pounds? I'll be your trainer. Meet me here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And I've got wood for you to chop.
Right. And how do you, like, people don't look at it that way.
You're going to chop wood for 40 minutes.
People don't look at it that way.
And
they're like, chop wood.
Yeah, you're going to be chopping wood. And I'm like, yeah, 45 minutes, chop this wood. See that pile? Once that pile's chopped and stacked, I'll see you tomorrow. And you'd be like, especially if, like, I'm not your buddy, like, you're hiring me as your trainer, like, I chop wood for 45 minutes.
This is like the Karate Kid stuff, man. Wax on, wax off.
Like,
what am I doing? Like,
man, I'm gonna learn karate. You would be like, man, he just used me to chop his wood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you tell me
like
tell me how you feel tomorrow?
Right. And that's true.
Yeah.
It's like a narrow-minded, like, I would put it that way. Yeah. People think of like the gym, that's where you get your exercise in. That's where you get the movement in.
Yeah.
And it's like you can get that
anywhere.
Yeah. That's But yeah, goals and systems, man. So I mean, do you have anything where because I know you're big systems. You're big in the systems.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think you are. Like, you have the goals, but the systems, like, is what?
I mean, like, there's a system in speaking. There's a system in, like, presentations. Like, there's a certain way you go about it. and like you end up having, say for instance, doing my story. Like, okay, they're bringing me in to do a keynote speech.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, this keynote, generally a keynote, typical keynote is 45 minutes, but this place might be like, okay, the way the conference, the way this is set up, you're only gonna have 30. So you like, okay, well, there's a system to it. So then, where you might go a little bit more in depth in a few of your points telling the story, you wouldn't necessarily say, like if I say, okay, been working since I was 13 and I might do 2 minutes of telling that. If the time has been cut down, I might literally say, been working since 13 and just go right on.
Yeah.
Because in that system, I don't want to really say they don't care about my story per se to the point of, well, what can you say that can help me?
Right.
So it's like WIFFM, like what's in it for me? So I can get to that. So where if you have 45 minutes, you tell a little bit more background, but once the time gets cut, I've been working since I was 13. That's it. Move on to the next point, that be able to teach them something that they'll take away, that actionable item for them. That's a system.
Yeah.
But there's so many systems.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so, like with the podcast, we got a system.
Yeah.
Like what episode are we on? Like we're doing 197 or something like that.
198, I think.
Yeah. So when I was talking to somebody, it was like, man, they're doing the podcast and they're like, man, what episode are y'all up to? And we're like, I told them whatever.
Right.
Like, oh, at that time I was like, man, I think we're 180, 190 something. I didn't really exactly know, and it was like, wow, man. And it's like, we would say it's a system. So that's so great that happened. Because it was like, we said we'll do this, and then
factors happen.
Yeah, if we come out with one every week,
yeah,
and there's some fall on holiday, some fall on somebody was sick, some fall on life continues to happen. So, but the baseline system was what? So what in your system? What's going to be the non-negotiables? So the same way, if I was giving you the example of my system with my story, if I have a few, like what we call a unique selling proposition or unique like life experience, ULEs, it'll be like, okay, well, raised by a single parent, working since I was 13, there's certain things.
Right. It's like, almost like the highlight bullet point.
They always are going to be there.
Yeah.
So depending on the time doesn't mean it doesn't change. That's my story. That's
always there.
And then if you have your points, your takeaways, like I want to make sure they leave with this, this, and this. If it got down to like, okay, well, you only have 10 minutes. Like we're bringing you in.
This, and this. How do you?
We're paying you 10 grand, but you got 10 minutes.
Still the same thing.
You got it, yeah.
That's interesting because it makes it seem like.
But all of the way I'm saying it like that is because the thing that's going to help you, the system is going to be able to make sure that you know how to deliver it.
Yeah.
But if you get caught up in the story or the goal. Yeah. And this let transpose story for goal. It's like you didn't get them what they needed. Or in this instance, you didn't get yourself what you needed. Like you invested 30 minutes to drive to the gym, to work out for 45 minutes, to drive home another
30 minutes.
Like, let's go in the garage and let's do this.
It really, yeah. The way you put it, it's almost like the system makes it simple. It's simple. Because you've hit the bullet points. What are the bullet points to get to the goal? The bullet points.
What's the takeaways, man?
And then how can you fit that in on each situation? Because it's always going to change. Every day is going to change. It's always going to change.
It's always going to change. So now, do you implement systems that stretch your comfort zone?
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that. Because it's like you get the system in place. It makes things simpler. Like you're changing your inputs. It's changing the outputs. That's all great. then how does the growth happen?
Yeah. You gotta have the guy that tells you like, hey, come over 5 a.m. and chop that wood right there, stack it up on that rack.
Yeah.
And I'll be sitting
Do
there.
you think it comes though?
How would you feel? And then, like, if it was really me and you, like, I got you, man, come over, I'm gonna take care of you. And then I'm sitting on the porch, and I'm drinking coffee.
I don't
And
know
it's
how I
cold
feel
outside,
about that, man.
and you're chopping wood. And I'm like, well, you said you
Well,
wanted to shed 30 pounds.
Here's the way I would look at it. What I want out of it, is this going to get me where I want to get out of it?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm
But
going to
how many people would think would get it? Would you get in your head, or would it not necessarily to the part that the thought would take you out, but to be like, man, you gotta be kidding me! I'm just chopping this man's wood. Or would you
I don't
literally
know,
be able to
man.
embrace like, and you know when you're swinging the axe, like, no, I'm
See,
I'm
'cause
working
I've
out.
done that. I've split wood before.
Yeah, me too.
And I'll be honest with you, I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Like I think it's a challenge. Like when you get a big one with a knot on it,
Yeah.
and you want to like swing it one whack and try to bust it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you.
But that's me.
So you
I would do it.
But the whole on the.
You might
porch
want to give me
with the
some coffee though. You might want. I want some coffee too.
Oh, you want coffee too. So as long as I give you some coffee, you're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know the benefit for doing it.
Yeah.
Like people think chopping wood for somebody, you know, that's just helping somebody out. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, what's in it for you too? Like, are you looking at it for what's in it for you
Yeah.
in that aspect?
Yeah.
Like, do you have a giver's, you know, in some cases, do you have a giver's personality? Like, are you,
Yeah.
you know? But in that instance, like, if it was for me to lose 30 pounds or to I know that's going to work.
Yeah, man. I mean, people
wouldn't
do
faze me.
systems for all kind of stuff. Like, okay, what, like implementing how you cut your yard. Like, oh, like say, I mean, you might think, like,
Oh,
overthink
man,
it,
I
like,
didn't even think about, you know, sometimes
Like-
systems are like there and you don't even know they're
Yeah,
there.
I cut yards on this day, or how do you keep your house clean, or how do you keep your car clean? It's like, well, if you want to stay on top of it, you put a system in place. Like, okay,
Right.
on Tuesdays we're gonna clean the living area. On Wednesdays we're gonna clean the kitchen and dining area. On Thursdays we're gonna do bathrooms. I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, there's a system in place.
Right. Instead of like, okay, well, on your day off, like, okay, the house is a wreck, and now I gotta do it all. It's like, wouldn't you have rather dusted and vacuumed these two rooms and close it off and it's handled
Yeah.
and made it a Monday thing? Tighten up the cars on Friday. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, take the cars, vacuum, get it detailed. I mean, even getting more system of like, hey, especially like I have to have a system because I fill my wife's car up. Like, I don't let my wife pump gas. Sorry, guys, ladies. Like, if they're hearing this and now this is your thing, it's my thing.
Yeah.
So she don't pump gas. I pump gas.
Right.
So to make sure I have gas and to make sure she has gas, unless you want to go to the gas pump when you weren't wanting to go to the gas pump, or just
You're going to have a system in place.
right,
Right. You're going to have a
like
system
under
in place.
like, okay, well, we went somewhere different. She had something come up different. There's some travel, whatever. But under normal, whatever that is, right, in today's society, the normal schedule, normal system is like, okay, on this day, fill up, top off,
Yeah.
and then it's going to carry until the next day.
Don't get
That
it
next
don't
week.
get it where it runs on E, man. Yeah.
Right. So there's a system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. And the system.
The goal is I don't want my wife pumping gas, man.
Right.
So how does that work? Like,
Make
oh
sure you
man, I
got
had to
gas in the
drive to. So I'm low. I'm gonna have to stop. You failed. Your system has failed.
Yeah.
Because the goal was, you don't pump gas. I do. So
Right.
that means, hey, well, you drove to Atlanta, then you went to Florida. It's like, well, I know when you got home, I better go put gas in.
Yeah.
What's the goal?
Yeah.
Wife don't pump gas.
Right.
She just drove to Tennessee, man. Like, you might want to
But I want to get her some gas.
have a system in place. Like, hey, listen, let's go to the pumps, man. 'Cause I know you got a couple engagements. So
Yeah.
I already know, like, you're not gonna make it if I don't go do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's like a joking way, an easy way, simple way, but it's still,
Like it's a
what's
system.
the end goal and what's the system?
Mm-hmm. I like that point. Yeah, I think if you don't have systems in place, what's the saying?
Well,
If you don't plan it,
I've heard this
somebody
one.
else will.
Piss poor planning leads to piss poor performance.
Right.
Like, I've heard that.
Yeah.
There's a proper planning leads to,
Yeah.
but for back in the sheriff's office days, we did the piss poor planning version.
Right. Yeah.
So
But putting the system in place allows that to work out.
yeah,
I liked it, man. Yeah. But I wouldn't, like, looking back at it, goals are important. They are important. They're what you see, in the future.
yeah,
But in order to get to that goal, you got to focus on the present stuff. And what gets you there is the systems. It's what keeps you in the present and what keeps you moving forward.
yeah,
So if you set a goal, make sure you check your system. If it's not working or if it's not going to be attainable with the system you have, you got to change it, man.
you gotta make some adjustments.
You got to adjust. And remember, like, I love the way you put it. I feel like your systems have to have the key points to keep it simple,
Yeah,
because life's going to happen.
yeah,
You're going to have to make adjustments. But you're still moving forward.
yeah. A lot of this stuff, man, it really comes back down to the mindset of how we look at it.
Yeah.
Because even if you were the guy like, man, I was totally going to the gym today,
Mm-hmm.
totally had it all figured out. I was gonna work back. I was gonna do my thing, and it's like, I can't go, man.
Mm-hmm.
That wood still needs to be chopped out there.
Yeah, if you got wood, you can chop wood.
No, I mean, and I'm joking, but and there's an axe right there there's a pile of wood for it to be chopped. And you're like, you were gonna do back at the gym anyway.
Yeah. Probably get a little forearms and everything in there too.
Swing the axe, man. There's your back workout. But people are attached to how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how it looks, you attain the goal.
Right.
How about that for your system?
Boom. Goals and systems.
Till next time.
This is your co-host here, Braxton Matson, and Lee and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it just as much as we did making it, but we couldn't do it without you. So please hit that like button, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know what topic or subject that you would like us to talk about in your journey from mediocre to magnificent. But most of all, share it. Be the ripple effect of magnificence and know that you are magnificent in everything you do. Till next time.